How Arsenal legend Vieira and Chelsea loanee Gallagher have breathed new life into Crystal Palace. The Eagles have undergone a major rebuild over the summer, but the early signs are they are becoming one of the Premier League's most aggressive teams. At Selhurst Park, preseason talk was dominated by premonitions of doom. Patrick Vieira's muddled final year at Nice and his relatively underwhelming managerial career to that point, coupled with an anticipated tactical overhaul and a perceived lack of quality in Crystal Palace's aging squad, had many predicting they would finish rock bottom of the Premier League. But while it is far too early in the season to confidently assert that Palace will avoid relegation, or even a hard-fought battle against the drop, the early signs are extremely positive. The speed with which Vieira has transformed Palace from the most defensive team in the Premier League to an aggressive and assertive force is impressive, and their 3-0 victory over Tottenham on Saturday has given the Eagles an early benchmark for the campaign ahead. The season-long data does not generally show a trend away from the Roy Hodgson era, although Palace's possession average is up from 42.9% to 51.4%, but that is only because the small sample size is skewed horribly by the opening day 3-0 defeat to Chelsea, a game in which Vieira's side were absolutely pummeled. But that performance only makes the transition to what we saw last weekend all the more impressive. Most of the analysis of the Spurs game has focused on what Nuno Espirito Santo's team got wrong, most notably his lopsided formation and their inability to progress the ball through midfield with any coherence. Tottenham looked lost, unable to pass forward, and ended the game with a 0.08 xG. Their performance, though, was not all about Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Harry Winks being too negative, or Nuno failing, like his predecessor Jose Mourinho, to coach structured possession. It was also forced by the brilliant pressing of Vieira's team, who confronted the visitors high up the pitch and squeezed the space in midfield, forcing backwards or misplaced passes. One stat tells the whole story. Palace's PPDA, the number of passes the opposition make before a defensive action intervenes, measuring pressing, against Spurs was 7.7, the second lowest of any game in the Premier League this season. This press is led by James McArthur, who I expected to push forward more adventurously to defend, and by Conor Gallagher, one of the Premier League's star performers so far this term. The on-loan Chelsea midfielder embodies the box-to-box energy, the assertiveness, and the daring forward momentum of Vieira's Palace. Take out the data from that Chelsea game and Palace are playing 70.3 feet progressive passes per game, according to Wayscout, which puts them fourth in the league behind Manchester City, Liverpool, and Wolves.